Hello, I didn't see you there. Come on in. I'm going to show you how you can mix up any single color under the sun just using the primaries and white. Hi, welcome to Paint Coach. I'm Chris Fornatero, here to help simplify oil painting so you can get better, faster. Just too casual. It's too serious. I feel like I'm speaking to the country. Okay. Yes, you can mix any single color from the primaries. I've done it. It's gonna be fantastic. So today I'm gonna be going over matching color. First, I'm gonna go over how to physically set yourself up to match color and then give you some tips on how to check your colors. After that, I'm gonna jump onto the palette and show you how I match a skin tone, a gray, and a green from a landscape. So let's talk about your setup for a second. It's hard to match color if you're not set up right. If you can't look from your canvas to your reference and back very easily and quickly, it's gonna make things a lot more difficult. So if you are using a printed out reference photo, try to get it as close up next to your canvas as possible. This way you can easily dart your eyes back and forth from your photo to your canvas. Also, put your photo on the side of the canvas that's opposite of the hand that you hold your brush in. This way you're not constantly looking over your shoulder like you're in the witness protection program. A lot of times for my videos, I put my pad of palette paper up and then I clamp on my pad of canvas paper over top of that. That way they're right next to each other side by side. You can easily do this with other things like a canvas panel, stretch canvas, or a DVD of Fool's Gold starring Matthew McConaughey. If you're using an iPad, I highly recommend getting one of these arms. I'll put a link to where I got mine on Amazon in the description below. This arm is very helpful. It is very sturdy, it's very reliable, it's easy to maneuver and bend and place your photo right where you want it. Now, if you're painting from your phone, which I know a lot of you are, I admit that I've done that a few times as well too. There's also an arm that you can buy with your phone. I've also gotten one of those before, and it's just very helpful. It keeps your hands free and you can place your photo right next to your painting so you can easily check back and forth. Now, a little tip that you can do that I've talked about in previous videos, if you really want to dial in your color, is take your photo or your iPad or your laptop or your phone, whatever you're using as your reference, and put a piece of plastic on it or get a plastic sleeve. I got these plastic sleeves. You can do that, and that way that you can actually mark with your brush the paint onto your reference to really check to see if it's the right color. Also, if you're using a computer, iPad, phone, something like that, take advantage of being able to zoom in on the photo or to crop in on a certain section to isolate a color. Being able to isolate a color away from all the other colors around it and just focus on that makes it very easy to identify it and then match it. Okay, now it's time to jump on the palette. All right, so I got a flesh tone already mixed out here. I just took a painting I did of Joe Exotic from Tiger King and I lifted a skin tone like right around here, and that's what I've mixed up right here. So let's try and rematch this skin tone. First off, let's talk about the colors. So we got the primaries, which is blue, red, yellow, and then we have white. Specifically, this is Ultramarine blue, Cadmium red, and Cadmium lemon. All right, so where do you start? You see a color that you have to match. Where do you even begin? Honestly, everybody's gonna start differently. Everybody's mind works a different way. So when I see this color, or pretty much a lot of lighter flesh tones, I immediately go to orange. That's just my mind. And you know, it's gonna be a really lighter orange, so I actually start out with some white, and I'm gonna mix up an orange real quick. So now I know, hey, I'm in the ballpark. You know, it's not, you know, that yet. So what is wrong with this color? What is the difference between this color and this color right now? And this color, I can see it needs some more blue because this one's a lot more vibrant. A lot of making your colors look natural and dialing them in is knowing the color on the color wheel and its complement. So the complement of blue is orange, the complement of red is green, the complement of yellow is purple. So if I have a color right now that's leaning more towards the orangey side, what color would I add to desaturate it? Blue. Get a touch of blue. Now I'm starting to get there. I feel like I got it desaturated the right amount, but this one is just looking a little more purple, and I already got blue going, and blue and red make purple, so I could probably go and get some red in there. You know, it's still looking a little too red. There we go. I'm just bouncing back and forth here, going from red to blue until I dial it in where I like it. You know what? I think I could add a little more white. So let's say that you don't have enough experience with color to be able to quickly identify where to start from. Just start somewhere, just try your best. It really doesn't matter your starting point. No matter where you start from, you're gonna be able to get to that color. All right, just for the example, I'm gonna create a color that's very, very far away from this. Let's say you got purple. All right, say we're starting right here. So how would you describe this color to that color? What would you say the difference? The first thing I think of is just yellow. That's the first thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just immediately just put yellow. And doing that, the first thing that comes to my mind is this is way darker than that. So I'm just gonna take it one step, lighten it up, get some white. All right, now we're getting close. Now what is the main difference? This one still seems a little orangier. Orange is yellow and red. I went a little too yellow. This one definitely now seems more yellow than this one, so I'm gonna bounce it back with the red. And I feel like I've gotten too dark again, so a little bit of white, and that's it, pretty close. See, so no matter like how far away you start, you can always bring it there as long as you're thinking, does it need more red, does it need more yellow, or does it need more blue? So understanding just the bare basics of the color wheel is actually pretty important. So you got the primary colors, the blue, red, and yellow, and then you need to know the secondary colors, which is what you get when you mix those primary colors. So when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. When you mix red and yellow, you get orange. When you mix blue and red, you get purple. Now these secondary colors are gonna act as complements. Purple complements yellow, red complements green, blue complements orange. Now knowing this is important because this is how you're going to desaturate a color. If a color is too vibrant, if you wanna kind of muddy it up a little bit or make it look more natural, you're gonna wanna add the complements. So say if you're painting a red apple and you got your red, but your red is just, it's fire engine paint red. It's way too bright and vibrant of a red. What you're gonna do, you're gonna add some green to it to knock it back. Now it's gonna seem like a more natural earthy red. All right, now we're gonna be looking at a gray, and no, we're not gonna be using black. I feel like a lot of people think of grays the wrong way. I never think of gray as gray. I normally find what color makes up that gray. So for example, in this plein air painting that I did, these clouds, when I looked at these clouds, I didn't think gray, I thought a purplish, bluish color. So think of grays as a desaturated color, a very desaturated purple, desaturated blue. That way you're not just going straight to the black and the white to make a gray. So I got the gray mixed up here and I'm just gonna try and match that. And honestly with the gray, you can, without even thinking, just put a little bit of everything. Just a little bit of white, some yellow, some red, some blue. Let's just mix up and see what happens. Because when you mix all these together, it's how you get a brown. So we got brown. All right, so you get this color, which is a brown. You're saying, oh wow, this is way off. How am I ever gonna get to that? Remember, you can get to any color from any color. So what do we need to do to get to that? What does this have that this doesn't? First off, in my mind, is blue. That's for sure. So let's just start there and just add some blue, see what happens. So we add some blue. It's like, all right, we're getting there. It almost looks like a darker version of that color. And it's very apparent that it's darker. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like, oh, well, that's very darker than that color. So let's change that. Oh, okay, here we go. Now we're getting there. Maybe a little lighter. Now we're getting there. Now we're getting close. So what still pops out when you first see this is the blue. It's still the blue. So I'm gonna throw some blue in there. All right, now definitely too dark. There's some white. Now there are some people that like to find the value first. They'll, you know, they don't care about matching the color right away in terms of just getting whatever they mix on their palette to be the right value. So adding the right amount of white and then they'll dial in the color. I kind of just go back and forth and do it as I go. So the closer you get to matching the color, the more you're gonna have to pay attention and be aware of the differences. So on camera, these might look very similar. So looking closely, I can tell that this definitely has more yellow, a little more yellow in it than this. So it's gonna take some yellow. Still a little too dark, gonna get some white. Maybe a touch of blue. That's pretty close. So even when we start with brown that you thought was so far away, you know, you can always bring it back. A little tip I can give you with grays, and you're gonna see this a lot in clouds or, you know, pavement in the street. Anytime that you kind of see something and you think it's gray, try starting out with just making a purple or a blue. So if I were to do this, the first thing I would start is I'd get white, some blue, and I'm already on my way. See, you know, it's lighting up some blue. A lot of times purple can be the answer. So I add a little bit of red, knock back purple with its complement yellow, bring back a little bit of the blue, touch of red. And now we're pretty much back there. Now see, that was a lot quicker, and with practice and experience, you'll be able to mix up the right color a lot quicker. So when you first start mixing up a color, don't get discouraged if it's way off. Just take it one step at a time and just think, does it need more blue? Does it need more yellow? Does it need more red? And if it needs to be lighter or darker, it's like, oh, do I need to add more white to lighten it up? If it's darker, do I need to add some more, one of the other colors to make it a little bit darker? All right, now we're gonna be doing a green. I'm gonna be matching this tree This little painting I did. I want to do a green because a lot of people out there do landscapes. When you do a landscape, you're gonna have to be able to handle a bunch of different greens. You can see in this painting, there's, you know, a lot of greens. There's this really bluish green in the background, lighter green on the grass, darker green in the tree here. But we're gonna be taking this area right here, and I already got it mixed up on the palette here. So green, this one's actually a little easier to start out. You know, everybody knows green is blue and yellow. So let's get some blue, let's get some yeller. And that's a dark green right from the start. Now when it gets really dark like that, try not to go immediately to the white. See if you can lighten it up. The yellow, lighten it up a little bit, but this is definitely a little creamier. So the key to know with green is its complement red, because that's what's gonna really make it seem like a natural green and not like a green straight out of the paint. Like I can see this definitely needs a little red. It's a little too vibrant. Touch more yellow, blue. So the key with greens is knowing how to desaturate it with the red and also lightening it with the yellow. I feel like a lot of people use a little too much white when they're trying to lighten up their greens. So the main thing I want you to come away with in this lesson is the importance of understanding the primaries. And to really start thinking of color as, do I need more red, do I need more blue, or do I need more yellow? Or even further, does it need more orange? Does it need more purple? Does it need more green? And does it need to be lighter? Or does it need to be darker? So as you progress, you're gonna be able to add more colors to your palette, and those added colors are gonna be almost like shortcuts to get to certain colors. You know, so if you see something needs some more orange, instead of, you know, having to dip into the red and into the yellow to get your orange, you just have an orange on there that you like, and that's how you get to that. All right, as always, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If these short YouTube videos just aren't enough, if you want to see some full in real-time painting video tutorials, I offer those on my Patreon page, which you can find a link to that in the description below. I'm Chris Fornatero here telling you to go get painting. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. I also offer you this video and this video. They both will change your life forever. Just pick one. You can't go wrong.